Hey there, beloved Ascension pioneers. Welcome to another video of mine. Thank you for keeping up all this time. It doesn't matter where you have joined this journey, if you haven't. It's about us being present with each other here now, always supporting, one another. So today I want to make another Ascension update, and it's about guidance that I have received recently this weekend. It was an intense weekend of releasing, and all year long we have been, going through that. And it seems like it's ever more um, being even more intense, in a way. And sometimes we might ask ourselves, well, what is this? What does this mean? And this is what my video is about. I'll try to explain this according to the guidance that I have received this weekend as I was releasing, as well as I was really feeling what this alignment is about, what we're really going through, as a collective and each on our own individual journey and level where we are at. Remember, it's about our own personal timeline. Ascension is not a competition. It's not a speedy race to get somewhere. There's still a lot of expectations around this date of 12-12-12 portal, which basically just a portal, and it just is. The energy, universal energy is here for all, and it just is. And the same goes with the December solstice on the 21st of December. A lot of expectation around that date as well. I also have a lot of people who comment or write me messages about feeling left out, I won't make it this time, things like that. This is still all having to do with the purging on this level, that you're going to be left behind, and you cannot be left behind if you are choosing your own journey, and you're always where you need to be at your pace. No one is leaving everyone. I mean, no one is leaving anyone. We are each where we are guided to be, but there's also some changes coming to our purpose because we're changing from within, so our purpose is changing. And I was talking about this in my last videos, but today I would like to emphasize on this. This weekend I was writing about, towards the end of it, when I was feeling these things, I was writing about these intense changes. And if you're one of those who's experiencing these changes that are very rapid as well, you should know that you're not alone. This is a huge transition cycle right now that because of the quickening, it's like a Fibonacci spiral, and it keeps getting more intense, towards the climax point in the middle. It feels more intense because of that quickening. So a lot of the things that are coming through, you might seem that they're coming in a way that you think you have not dealt with them, but it's coming more rapidly. I can hardly explain this with words because lately, literally, what I've been noticing is whatever we say through words is already limited. The divine truths, divine principles can hardly be put in words without using true sacredness, because we all filter through words and images and everything that is created here in the human realm of our existence. So there's a lot of filters. That's why I always encourage and invite everyone to listen to the energy, tap into the energy. Don't just become attached to the words. For instance, someone says something and you're like, okay, you're hooked. What do they mean by that? Or you attach a meaning to that, or you make an assumption. We really right now are invited to just subtly feel the energies, because the energies are the ones that are telling the truth, and they are the ones who do not lie. I was writing about things moving so fast, so rapid, with amazing intensity, because sometimes things are just the way it is. It's very neutral, and this can sometimes also, in a way, through our own filters, feel like it's too much to handle. There's a lot of pressure for me. This weekend, I've been experiencing a lot of pressure because there's so much external, to do, so much on to-do list, so many things, so many, demands of the external world. And the way of the soul is already so much felt that it feels like it's something that is not even important. So you feel the major difference. And it's just like your human and divine self are trying to merge, but you're the one still who can block the experience. And I will relate to this later. So I'll read something to you before I start talking, what I got through my divine guidance, through my own presence. And this is what I said. The pressure is immense. You can feel it like that. We're being bombarded by the energy of the most recent solar flares, and we can already feel the vortex of 12-12-12, gateway of light, which is happening this Wednesday. We are in the final, there's no such thing as final and destination. It's about the journey. But in this cycle, this is our final stage. That's what it's meant here. So in the final stages of a releasing process on this level, and what they say, it gets darkest just before the dawn. Hold on, we're already halfway there. And when I say halfway there, don't take this literally. Listen to the energy behind it. Listen to what the energy of this is trying to tell you. I was also writing about 12-12-12 and the guidance that I received about that. And I'll emphasize on this as well. So never before have we felt ourselves so strongly as now. That is why it might seem often also more difficult to us when we are not coming from our true self. So when we do not align with it. The feeling of it is so familiar to us by now already, so that we feel it strongly, even when we act against ourselves. So I mean, we feel this strong distance between our true self. We might perceive it as distance. There is no such thing as a distance. But our human self can perceive it as such. And there's this amazing difference between the two. So you might get very cranky or moody or whatever because you feel you're not really staying true to yourself. So when we act against ourselves, we might feel that strongly. And this is a time of intense transition. That is why the purple. So be gentle with yourself and always remember to take time for self-nurture. We coexist as our divine human self, so we have to nurture both our spirit and the physical. And what I wrote today is the month of December is a very intense one, not just for me, for many, especially those who have chosen, to pave the way forward. For many, collectively through our own individual self. There were many prophecies about this long anticipated time in human history, and yet we are each experiencing it in a unique way. But there is something that is common to all of us because of the quickening. And the universal energy, like I said, it's neutral and it's here for all, and it just is. The speed and the intensity of the universal energy is here for everyone. While we can already be experiencing our own winter fairy tale, or summer, depending when you are on the globe, we're also experiencing coming out of an old cocoon at the same time. We're being reborn again. This is both happening simultaneously, and the speed of the intensity of this feeling that comes from within to without is immense. We're each coping with these shifts in our own way, and at the same time, we're all here for each other as well. We're not going through this galactic rebirth alone, we are in it together. So you might feel this parallel living, feeling your true self so deeply and at the same time, doing things more from the human doing still. Or you might feel very alone at times, but also feel this collective global soup of the awakening ascension process. There can be these paradox nature movements, dynamics that you can now really intensely feel the coexistence of both because it is right, under and right ahead and right before and all of the expressions just before the tipping point of the merging process. So there are many changes occurring in our bodies, and sometimes also it can feel very unpleasant, because we don't always understand why. We don't see on all levels yet. So it might feel like too much to handle, and yet we soundly know that we can do just about everything. This is our divine and human self coexisting together as one. We are experiencing both as we are becoming more aware of our multifaceted part of the self than ever before. This is not a time of death, this is a time of a very intense transition. The intensity is felt greatly because it's happening so fast. This is a time of one cycle coming to an end and another one just beginning. There is a blank piece of paper waiting for everyone who has come so far in this journey. It is right around the corner. Again, it's just a metaphor, feel the energy. And all we have to do is show up. And I've been talking about this during this weekend with my beloved. We were going through this. And usually when I'm experiencing this intensity that I cannot describe, I just say either feels, or try to describe it without the words that I don't really label it. Usually I go at it with questions. So I was asking myself, why do we feel such things, And remember, I was talking all year and there were so many who were talking about the Ascension being a great time of purging, individually and collectively. So all of the year, I was guiding you guys along my own journey through this process of self-emergence. And as our true self emerges, there's also a lot of purging that accompanies this phase and this awakening, rebirth. So now I was asking myself, okay, what is this feeling that this no longer works, and anything no longer works? So I got the guidance that we in the old, because I was reminded of an old writing that I did. It was an nomadic writing about myself, literally in my own journey. And I wrote that everything for me, and probably I guess for all of you pioneers, by the time of 2012, this December solstice, because this is a cycle concluding, this is an era coming to an end, and it's not an end, it's just a transition to a new cycle. Because humans, consider this word death so literally. It's like death and then there's nothing more. The Mayans have said the end of the world. Yeah, moving into the new cycle. So because of this intensity, because we're not stopping, we're not literally putting a pause, we're fluidly moving from one to the next. That is why it's not always pleasant. Because along this journey, I got this great analogy when I was talking about cross-country skiing, which I love so much. So we were talking about how you stop, what's the technique of stopping in cross-country skiing. And, they can go down the hill like that, you kind of lower your knees and you just go. And then when you're already coming into the straight line, you just start skiing again. You just start flowing again. So this is the analogy of what's happening with us. We're not stopping. We're not going to stop. We're after that jump or after that fall or after that giant speed which through which we're flying into the new, we're already glancing and gliding and sliding into the new. That is how it feels. So this might feel very intense, like you're being pushed into it, like when you're stopping, if you're just trying to stop more, you can just fall because you're not doing naturally. The natural way is to adapt to the new way of flow. So we're going through this adaptation period. So like I said, we were talking about this and I was asking questions. Why does it feel like this? Why does it feel so uncomfortable at times? Why do, for instance, I feel like some things I'm doing it still by the old while my spirit is already anchored so much in the new? And what is happening is, like I said, everything that was until the period of 2012, the end, the conclusion with the solstice, the 21st of December. Remember my sentence a while ago. Every 26,000 years, a tree of life is being reborn again. This is what's happening now. So it's like we are experiencing ourselves coming to an end of one cycle. And of course, that is not always easy because you have so much that you've used to know and so many things you're used, you were used to operate in certain modes and in certain ways, in certain paradigms, and now this is all coming to change and it's only you who's holding the responsibility for it. It's all about you and the choice. No one is being left behind. It's just a matter of, are you the one who wants to go? There's a party happening and all you have to do is show up. Have you done the work? That means, have you done the divine remembrance? Because that's all that we were basically doing, remembering, and through that remembrance came the purging of what was not our true self. So I got this guidance that so many things, for instance, in my videos, what I was saying or what I was writing about, which was about how we were coping with the things at the coming an end of this cycle and how we're coping with the changes, how we're purging, what are the ascension symptoms, so many writings about that and so many videos about that. But now I felt that I no longer wish to speak about that. It feels so much of the old. Why does it feel like that? Why do some things in my life feel icky now? I know they were there for a reason because when I was doing them, I was feeling joy. So they were not something that was coming from a way that was not at the right time in the right place. So it was serving a purpose, but now it feels different. So in a way, it's because it had a purpose, it served a purpose. And we were talking so much about how to transition. And I had this immense inner knowing that now in the cycle of the new, we'll be talking only about the new, how to create, because we're moving from talking about purging and transitioning to how to create in the new through our soul essences, through our true authenticity, through who we truly are as beings of divine and human origin here. A lot of the times we wish to negate a certain part of us. And whenever I have these conversations with my beloved, we talk about it. And I instantly always say, but remember, we would stay in spirit. We wouldn't come here if we wouldn't wish to make this knowing that we have on a soul level also physical. So sometimes you have to view yourself because there's a lot of these expectations that will make you feel that you already have to be somewhere to some place already. And if you're not there, you're going to be left behind. It's not about that. Think of it as it's your first time on earth. Like everyone is here on earth for the first time. Tell yourself this story. I told myself this story, and if we can be willing to see it, like every day we're being reborn again. Every day is your first time on earth. So you have all the knowledge on your soul level, and every day you will be learning, again, remembering, relearning basically as to how to use that. And how to use that knowledge, how to really utilize it is wisdom. We all have knowledge. We all have writings and codings in our soul blueprints. But wisdom is how you use it. Sometimes when we do things our own way with my beloved, sometimes we say we don't like the way how we created things. Maybe we should have done it better. Not better, but more enhanced. More in tune with our true selves. So why do we sometimes still follow the old? Because we're used to it, you see. A lot of the things we're so used to doing that then we can later really go into self-judgment and criticism because we want to do things the new way and we have so much expectations coming from the external world instead of just dropping them and saying, you know what, through this learning, something is trying to show itself to me in order for me to really transform it into something new and beautiful in the way of the new. And in my videos from now on, I'll be only focusing on this. From Wednesday on, we are reaching the level of 12, the level of completion. I've been writing about, and I've been sharing some of the things. You can see that on my Facebook profile about 12 and the number of 12, the meaning of 12 as in numerology wise and things like that. And the guidance that I got when I was running on my meta was, we've been starting to walk this journey. There's many cycles, but this tinier cycles within the grander cycle was from 2000 to now, which was basically going from 0 to 12, activating on each set of awareness that brought us to where we are right now. So the 12 is in a way a number of completion, and 13 is the number of source. So through that portal of the new, we're entering our source self. That means fully entering, and everything will be like a blank piece of paper. Ascension, like I always say, it's not about you're going somewhere, going on another planet, and you're leaving your brothers and sisters behind. And there are others who fear that they'll be left behind, or some fear that they'll experience doomsday and others will experience whatever. It doesn't matter. It's about truly, really remembering the true spiritual purpose of these cycles. And remember, whatever cycle we're feeding now, we can always choose to move out of the cycle and choose a new one and create a new one. And this is a cycle where we're doing that. So my focus in my videos from now on will only be to how to co-create in the new. I will probably be joining forces with my beloved. I don't know yet when this is going to happen because we have a lot of things to do in our transition and the moving and everything. But as soon as we can, and we create things, because we're both perfectionists, we want to create things in a perfect way, and new video topic, new video theme and everything, and it's going to probably take a while. But when we will be ready, when we will feel divine timing, we'll probably doing things and be talking about how to co-create in the new. What are the essences of the new? We will be sharing more on that. Until now, I felt really guided to serve in a way through my own journey as an Ascension guide. And I even was called to drop that label because on a certain part of my journey, that really seemed just like a label. And again, like I want to say to you, it's not about us thinking that labels are bad. It's just seeing the limitations when they are present. But still, in a way, we function in this reality. We still use language, we still communicate. So sometimes it can be pretty hard to communicate, verbalize divine principles. And for me, I'm trying as best as I can, the hardest I can. I've always been like that. Please be patient with me as the same way you're invited to be patient with your own self when you're going through these transition periods. So it's about doing our best. We're learning, relearning every single day how to maybe make adjustments even more aligned with the new. And don't place any limitations on self-judgment when you feel maybe I wasn't wholly coming from my true self. Maybe I was still acting from the old. Yes, we still were able to do that. Every single time we did that, it wasn't purpose, it wasn't like serving no purpose. It was there. It was very purposeful because it showed us where there's still something missing, when we can more enhance the experience, when we can add a little something. When you're drawing a painting, it's like you add the details. So we're basically just making it more detailed. But the guidance that I was getting is, for me, and I think it's happening to everyone right now, is by the definition, a lot of the things, according to the end of this cycle, were predetermined. For instance, we've all chosen a certain soul journey. We've chosen, for instance, I've chosen to come here with my beloved, to one day reunite, to do this purpose, to do a part of the purpose before alone, to set to set a few grounding stones, to do a few templates for what I'll be doing next, to, help a few people along the way. And I've come to recognize that a lot of the people, as what they report, I've in a way helped to uplift. And I was really like, wow, thank you. That was my journey. I'm really blessed for it. But I've always been saying, I have a feeling that next year probably begins. It doesn't mean it's going to be all there at once, but begins this new era. And I was instantly reminded when I had a few years back a spiritual coach. It was a life coach, not spiritual coach. And he told me, you won't be fully self-responsible by the end of 2012, and you'll be fully self-responsible in 2013. And I was instantly reminded of that this weekend, and was instantly reminded of this writing I did for myself, saying that after this period where things are determined, excuse me, I ate a few seeds before. So after this, period. Like I said again, I'll repeat. It was determined. We each have chosen certain parts to play. So we were very used to things being determined by our higher self. For instance, you're coming here, you're going to meet these people, you're going to do those things, and you will follow through this plan of yours, your soul plan. And there's a lot of people who doubt it. I'm not at the right place. Yes, you are. Wherever you are, you're following it. No matter which steps you choose to take, you'll always be in alignment with your soul's plan in a way. So we've been doing that, and it was very much predetermined. So we were used to these higher selves, of ours, our higher self, to predetermine this experience to flow through us, for us to say we're listening to our guides or inner guidance or whatever. And our human self did not have so much, you think of it as control. So a lot of the people were feeling like victims, or things were passive, and it's so much easier to do it like that. I'll remain in the background. I'll say it's always about the circumstances. So what we were doing, we were taking from the external, and we were feeding, we were nourishing ourselves from the external. We were gathering what we would like, and we were saying, okay, through this I create. But now a cycle begins when we go within, we gather all of our soul essences, and we create from that space. We nourish ourselves from our inner spirit to the outer world, and that's how we will be creating in the new paradigm, in the new world. This is just the end that is implying a new beginning, and that is it. The ending, the transition, signals a time when we reevaluate, when we see why things are like that, why we're adapting like we are, and why maybe we're experiencing some hardship around this as well. And like I say, because we're still sometimes doing according to the old and known, and not taking all the responsibility, and seeing, it's victim consciousness, or it's not totally like maybe I would want it. Because we were preparing for the part that begins with us taking full responsibility. Imagine you would get a blank piece of paper every single day, and you would be able to create whatever you want, and only you would be held responsible for it. So a lot of the beings do not wish that, because responsibility brings this feeling that it's only you who creates, and not everyone is maybe ready for this experience. That is the only way that maybe you can choose to go into that space of awareness or not. It doesn't mean you'll be left behind because of it if you choose otherwise. We're all divine, but at the same time, we're all human beings. So what is happening now is our human self that is merging with our divine self. They're all one. They're both one. Our human self, through our human awareness, we will feel that we have more responsibility, because our human self will become more empowered, because at the same time, we have embodied more of our spirit essence, more of our beloved I am. And because of that, we will also be in great knowing that we can do it. Every day we can create something new. And because it feels so hard right now is because we already feel that. At the same time, we're still acting from the old, what is known. A lot of the times what we might do is we get a certain situation, we get this experience, and we still following the old ways, the old known ways, although we don't trust. We feel something and maybe you should react other way. We don't trust it, because we're not used to trusting. We only trust if the way is already known to us. Yeah, that is what is known to me, so I trust only this. I won't be doing any changes here. Modifications scare me. They're uneasy. I don't know what's gonna come. I don't know the outcome, so I'm not gonna go for it. You see, that is the way of the old. Whenever we don't trust, we don't align with our source self, and what means we're feeding the old. We're not feeding the new timeline. We're not feeding our true selves. There is no judgment in that. That experience in itself will show us the mirror. We will see ourselves reflected back, and we will see, oh gosh, it's this that is trying to come through this as a message of myself, for myself, to myself, through myself. So the thing is, it's just we have to be willing to accept the responsibility of our new selves, because our new responsible selves are exactly what I've been describing through my nomadic writings all this time. And it was a sentence that said, it is time to become a fully responsible co-creator, divine human being. That is who we truly are. So it's self-responsible, conscious, self-responsible, divine human co-creator being. You have all 5 essences. And there's many sub-essences, within all of this. And like I said, the feeling is still there in the old phase, in the old period, which was everything is in a way predetermined. You just follow along, listen, you tune into your higher self or your guidance, whatever it's coming from. It doesn't matter. Like I said in my last videos, even if it's from the mind, it's right in that moment. And then you align with it and then you followed. Now it's your human self feeling more responsibility for everything. And maybe this feels scary because the reason why I'm talking about this is because for the last few days, I'm waking up with a feeling, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. Usually I felt guided to do something, you know? Now it's like it's blank. I'm already feeling the new energies. And I was asking myself, okay, what is the pattern? Is it loud? Am I releasing something? What is it? And the answer was, it's not an old pattern. It's not about that. Go deeper. And when I went deeper, I saw that it's actually me adjusting to the new paradigm, which is every day is a blank leaf of paper and you create. And there is no predetermination. Align yourself with the divine will, which is at the same time also your will, because your beloved I am is one with the divine will of all. It's one master plan. It has to include complete self-trust. So, my beloved Ascension pioneers, we're being called to take all the responsibility, which is at the same time very amazing, sometimes frightening because we still think that, things are predetermined. But like I said, I remembered a lot of the things which I was writing in my automatic reticles. Basically, when I was doing the review, everything checked. For me, everything checked. So I was like, okay, everything I was writing for came true. It was everything. It was not so much in the physical sense, but everything was exactly like I felt it through my inner knowing. And because I wrote it down, I grounded that awareness. Now it came to me back when I was putting the pieces together, when I, needed that magic clue. The magic glue was love. And through that love divine, through divine remembrance of mine, it came. And I can share it with all of you. And I hope it resonates. And at the same time, I hope you know that whatever you choose is awesome. And the energies are here for all. It's not that the energies will hit you and the energies won't hit that person. It's like, the God force of all is the force that has a selection. It's like, Noah's Ark. There's just some few species that will be selected. You're the one who's making the selection. You're the one who's choosing your journey. And at the same time, we are the ones in the new who are held responsible for each thing we create. So what do we wish to create? I know what I wish to create. So I'll talk to you soon. I hope this was helpful and have a great week. Bye.